How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to talk about the magic of reading to change your life. Now, we're just surrounded by technology these days, right? I mean, I've got my computer, the internet, and rely on that every single day to do so many different things, from buying stuff online to uploading my videos to keeping in contact with my family who are virtually all over the world. I rely on my phone, rely on my phone for recording these videos, for again keeping in contact, surfing the internet, all that kind of stuff. Same thing with my iPad. I've got so many different devices for one thing or another, and sort of from the perspective of our educational and our personal needs, we are very much reliant nowadays on just pressing a button to get the knowledge that we want, going to Wikipedia, for instance, if we want to find out something, or going to one of the billions of websites that are out there these days. And however great that technological progress has been, and however much it allows us to experience life and to find knowledge in a much quicker and in some cases a lot more precise way, instantly. What we've got here between your ears, right, is the best bit of technological gadgetry that you will ever have, right? And when I talk about creativity, I'm not talking about being able to write a bit of poetry or paint a picture or write a book or sing a song or whatever, right? I'm talking about using your own personal creativity in order to get from where you are now to where you want to be in both your life, in your thinking life, and in your actions going towards your goals. And that all takes creative thinking, right? And in order to be creative, you've got to allow the input to come in. You've got to allow for the best type of input, right? From what you read, what you listen to, what you watch on the television, who you speak with, all of those kind of things, they all play a part in your creativity, on what goes into your mind. And what goes into your mind and what's in there, what's stored in there, are all part of what's going to come back out again, right? And this is such an incredible resource. These things have been written for centuries. People's thoughts have been written down for thousands of years. We've got access to all of that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that's not on, that you can't get on a PDF. You can't get it on your Kindle. You have to buy a paperback or a hardback book. You have to buy a solid book and get it delivered to your house, right? I still love that, but I'm going more and more towards my Kindle and reading ebooks, reading stuff on PDF, because it's just much more convenient for me. I can get it there and then. However much I like to hold something physical in my hand, it's just to be able to have 1,000 books or 10,000 books on my iPad is something that I love. Sometimes I can't get all the books that I want to read on the Kindle because they're just not available on that format yet. But it's getting to the stage where more and more people are putting the effort in to create these books, even from old thinkers, from thinkers of the past. When you talk about books, I'm talking about not just the written word. You can get the same thing from Audible now. Audiobooks are on a growth spurt. I mean, you can get more and more books nowadays on Audible, and 50% of the stuff that I read is through Audible. I mean, I read when I'm walking, right, just by listening to somebody talking. I read when I'm taking a trip, when I'm on a plane, or when I'm driving in my car, I'm listening to an Audible book. When I'm standing in the queue for the checkout, I'm listening to something. When I'm doing the dishes at home or making the dinner or whatever I'm doing, if I can listen to a book, I will listen to a book. So, I mean, I get through at least a book a week, sometimes 2 books a week, depending on how much I'm either listening to or reading. And I find just sitting down and having a book in front of me I find that one of the most relaxing and meditative ways of being, of living my life. And it's a sad reality that about 60% of people who have gone through their formal education, right? I'm not talking about people that have just gone to junior school, or primary school, or whatever it is in America. That 60% of people who finish school will never read another meaningful book in their lives. 60%. That's an awful lot of people, It's sort of tragic. I mean, when you look at the top performing people in the world, the most successful people in the world, they will all tell you that one of their main hobbies is to read. One of the main ways of keeping up to date is to read. People read at different speeds. People, just because you're successful, it doesn't mean that you're going to read fast. I mean, I'm sort of an average reader. I'm not very fast. I mean, I like to read every word. A lot of the stuff that I read, I skim through because I don't need to know the information, and I've learned to do that over time. When I first started reading, it was I felt like I had to read every word, otherwise I was going to miss out on things. But the more you read, the older you get. I think the less time you want to put into stuff that you already know. So you get a sense of what you want to read and what you don't want to read, and you skip over the things that you don't need to read anymore, and just skip onto the things that you have to read, that you don't know. And there's a point as well that if you pick up a book and you find you're not getting anything out of the book, don't be afraid to throw it down. Don't be afraid to throw it out if it's a bad book. So basically, what I'm saying is that if you want to find the quickest way to grow in life, the quickest way to progress in your mind, to learn new things, is to pick up a book and read it. And whether you're actually reading it and sitting down with a book in your hand, or on the laptop, or on your iPad, or you're listening to a book through your earbuds, then do it. It's something that you will never regret, something that will repeatedly give you more and more and more. The more you read, the more you'll get out of it. No matter what it is that you're reading, no two people are going to get the same information from the same book, right? I could read a page of a book and you could read the same page of the book, and we'll get two different interpretations. Not only because you interpret the information differently, but because you'll extract what you need at that time, right? You'll take your piece of paper, your book, and you'll go through it, and the information that you're taking into your mind is the stuff that you need there and then at that moment, right? It's not something, like I've read a book, like for instance, one of my favorite books is this one, Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. And I've read that maybe 10 times. And each time I've read it, I've taken something completely different out of it. You get the same basic stuff, and I understand the same basic stuff, but it leads me to down different avenues, if you like. And it's not just because I'm older, but it's because I'm in a different place, and the information that I need now is different to what it was when I read it the last time, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. And that's just the beauty of reading. You can go back to your favourite books and read them over and over again, and you will get new material out of it. You'll get new insights out of it. That's what it's all about. It's all about trying to extract something out of the books that you can use in your own personal life. So I'm going to stop it there anyway. Just think it's, if you're quitting drinking alcohol, if you're trying to get rid of any bad habit in your life, if you're trying to build a new life for yourself, then one of the best things that you can do is read, and read broadly. Read from different subjects, different authors, different time periods. I mean, one of the books that I'm reading at the moment is called Meditations by a guy called Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor, a Roman emperor, a couple of thousand years ago, right? It's hard to read. It's in a language which is it's English. It's translated into English, but the translation is probably from around that era or whatever it was anyway. But the language is difficult to read, but the meanings and the basic lessons that are being taught through this book are the same, and they apply today as they did back then. It's the same thing. When you go to the Bible, for instance, I mean, if you strip out all the hocus pocus and all the spirituality and stuff, those basic lessons are there for everyone to learn. Do unto others as you'd like to see somebody else do unto you. I mean, that's a basic life lesson. Once you take out the God and all the other stuff that you don't want, it's a basic life lesson that's still being taught today and still has relevance today, right? So anyway, stop rambling. If you have any questions at all, give us a shout over at alcoholmastery.com. Leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you would like to download our Alcohol Mastery Starter Pack for anyone who wants to quit drinking, then you can get that over on Alcohol Mastery. There's a couple of different courses, a couple of different ebooks and some other different bits and pieces. So leave your name and email address, just come to alcoholmastery.com and you can download it from there, or you can click on the link which is down here. Just click on that link there at the end of the video. And until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, onwards and upwards. Take care, bye now.